Hey everyone, I'm back. Today I'm gonna show you guys another guide for Kaiserredux. I know it's been a while, a lot of stuff got busy again, and on top of that, my computer is just a mess. But now, luckily, I'm not using a Mac, so bear with me. But at the same time, it's actually much better run, so it's better quality, and I'm hoping the audio is better. I might not be using a mic. It's a portable computer. I don't know. But that's besides the point. I am here to make another guide for Kaiserredux. Just a little disclaimer for people who are watching my videos. I am not supporting any of these radical regimes that, are a threat to, like, the human mankind and all that. It's just a lot of terrible stuff. So, just believe me, it's really bad. But for now, we're going to be doing a guide on, not the United States, actually. I wanted to do that as a little surprise to you. We're going to be doing it on Yunnan. Because although it may sound boring playing down here, but there's actually something very interesting for you to play as over here. And it's basically a guide on how to do something really interesting, which I'm going to show you eventually. And if for those who've been playing the game for a while and have seen recent updates, you might know what I'm talking about. So anyway, let's get into it. So for the starting of Yunnan, we're not going to focus on a lot of stuff on Yunnan. Rather, we're just going to focus on one particular path, and it's going to be focusing on our leader. Historically, this guy, Tang Jiao, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. I'm just going to say by his last name, Tang. Basically, he was a very loyal guy to the early Republic of China. And then even afterwards, it still happened. Even afterwards, they were still pretty loyal to the Republican cause. However, the state has now been in a huge declining state. That's basically what you need to know. So you got this. He's not the most effective ruler. And basically one more bad thing that happens to him, he's basically done for. So you got this. The economy is an export economy, so it's just relying on exports. It's just really bad. Not all these other things matter. But what we're going to do, actually, I'm just going to spill the beans. We're going to form the Tang Dynasty, the resurrection of the Tang Dynasty, which basically you can go down to the King of Yunnan, and that's how you're going to get it. So you have to go down here. Now, there's a specific path that you have to go down, and a specific thing you have to do right. And then eventually, it will lead to you forming Tang. But first, you got to start with Masters of the East Continent, and I'll show you what to do next. Also, another thing, the first part of your path, just don't assign your troops to anywhere, because there's really one of the places here that will become independent from the League of Eight Provinces will become a huge factor in forming Tang. So there you go. You get the Masters of the East Continent. So there you go. So now we are now going to move on. So here we go. Now, of course, there's not much focus as you can do. However, at the moment. However, we're going to go down seize the chance. But don't, and you might say, oh, what about, it ends in August 1st. But don't worry, the opportunity will come. It just has to be when the League of Eight Provinces collapses and then the Hunan clique forms. That is all that's needed for this to basically happen. And then I think there's an event that happens too. But for now, we're just going to go to the mountain economy because I'm going to play this game. Maybe not the entirety of it, but just to the point where the guide is finished. So very shortly after the Hunan clique spawns, there will be an event that says an opportunity presents itself. Basically, it's kind of a way to try and make sure that it basically sees an opportunity to seize the chance against them. However, and there's a lot of stuff that eventually happen about it. What am I saying? Basically, this opens up the opportunity to go down the focus, seize the chance, which I will as soon as I finish this, and within a few seconds you'll see me doing the event. Once again, this is probably the last time I'm saying this before I move on. You have to go down, seize the chance. Continued isolation will actually not lead you to become the Tang leader, because you have to. That's just how you have to do it. Because going down here will lead to the federalist part. And this will ultimately lead to you forming a Republic Reborn instead of actually forming Tang. So you have to go seize the chance. Just like that, sees the chances happen, and the general staff will refuse to take action. So this will just lead to a huge republic resistance, and basically your nation's going to start falling apart. But here's what you have to do. Don't go to purge the high command. That basically means, well, I mean, it could probably still have, I mean, you can still do it, but the crisis has to be diffused in order for you to continue. Because if you do this, that means your luck has run out, and it just ultimately will not lead you to become Tang. What am I saying? But even after you get these two focuses done and the political crisis was averted, this option is still available. Just don't use it though, because it's gonna ruin it. Believe me. All right. So first we are gonna go for mobilizing the troops, then general staff, and then situation diffuse, and I'll show you how to get that done. Also, there is a deadline to having this complete. It's around 150 days to complete. So in other words, you have like plenty of time to get this thing done. I mean, you can take as long as you want in that case. Okay, so the next event that you have to do, this is the mobilizing the troops event. So you can either force them out of their barracks or you can bribe them. And you're going to have to go with bribing the troops. And in the meantime, we're going to go for this general staff meeting. That will happen after. So there you go. Your bribe is basically selling them opium, as dirty as it is today. And this ultimately will result in it to work, like I said. And the overwhelming power of resistance will just slowly evaporate. So it actually does get better in your favor. Still, the political crisis has yet to be averted. So you have to go down to the general staff meeting nonetheless. So in the general meeting, you go, so basically this is for what is, so this is basically going over the Huon and Clique event. You basically go ahead, oh, sorry, my fridge over here. I moved over a little bit. But basically you go for this event right here. And with that, I didn't get like a event for it. At least not yet. It's been a few days since I finished that. But basically, you can now go for the situation diffused. Don't go for the purge of the high command. That basically just ruins the whole thing, and you're not going to form Tang anyhow. So go for situation diffused. Also, I'm not focusing on the economy. I just want to get this done as soon as I can. So there you go. So there you go. As soon as the situation diffuse happens, you can now do the next thing you have to do is that you have to do all these three events. You have to go through all these focuses, and then you can go for the future. I'm just going to go, for the sake of time, I'm just going to go and focus auto-complete these, and I'll show you the next event after that. By the way, all of these events have their own unique thing, which basically give you a bunch of popularity and stuff, and this final one will basically give you a little bit more power in your regime. So we finally get to the future. So remember, all of these take 35 days, which will take some time. And it does require a lot of patience as well. I just don't have the patience for it, and I do want to make more guides as soon as I can. So here we go. Just go for the future, and like I said, you have to go through Seeds of the Chance, get the situation diffused, and just like that, you can embrace isolationism. If you go up here and continue isolationism, it will only make you go down the Federalist path. So that's just how it is. But nevertheless, we're now going to go down and embrace isolationism. This part doesn't really matter. So you slowly go down here, get all the amazing buffs. Finally, after a long time, and by the way, you also get claims on those other areas. Like you can get preparing for war, Tibet debacle, or debate, whatever it's called. I don't know what it is really. And finally, you can get to King of Yuan. Now it gives you a long event. Well, it's a pretty big event, and basically, it's basically whether Tang Jiao. I'm hoping that, once again, I'm just gonna go with Tang. So Tang is basically thinking that he is the like the direct descendant of the ancient Tang dynasty that once ruled China, like at this point over 1,000 years ago. I think that's around the time. Yeah, something around there. And basically, he's like the reincarnate. So basically, he has two options. You can either go for this, or you can go for I am the one true Tang, and that is how you form Tang. So there you go, rebirth of the Tang dynasty. You get a cool new flag, and just like that, Tang Jiao is in his own like gown and stuff. Not gown, but like his own emperor's clothing. So he is in a new groove. But not only that, but it also gives you claims, CBs against everybody. And when I mean everybody, I mean everybody. And I'm going to show you what that looks like once you get all of this done. So, be back in a moment. So I did some modifications just to make sure everything is correct, and you finally get the event. Once you finally unite all of China, you get the Emperor always gets his revenge. As well, you also get the children of Lao Tzu rule once more, and basically what you need is that you need to control, not besides Burma, you need to control all of the lands here. Xinjiang is East Turkestan is not included, and Mongolia isn't included. But basically, what ends up happening is that you officially reunite China. And this part doesn't really matter. Yeah, this part doesn't matter. So you just get that land for free. But yeah, that's basically what is going on. And you finally get the event, a restored Chinese mandate, or a restored mandate. You can finally start going down here. You can start rebuilding. And in other words, you are all set up and situated to continue your reign across China. Not only that, but Gaozu of Tang is officially is actually in new clothes for the emperor, which is pretty cool. And nevertheless, that's how you form Tang. And it takes a lot of effort. I mean, this is just 1936, and I cheated my way through this, but I'm hoping other people can just simply not cheat and play the game really well. And I believe it's a really fun campaign if you know what you're doing. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this campaign. And we will see you in the next guide. Take care.